Alrighty, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so I want to do a quick little stream today and just get back into this case because holy crap, the entire thing with this case, with how Sushart, I like calling him Sushart because that's what he is. He is Sushart, nothing more, nothing less. So, once again, the fact that this man is just so involved with everything, and I don't even know where to place him on my sus list because kind of strange how he's involved with everything. He wants to get what's his face? He wants to get Kazuma anything he wants. He wants to get Gregson killed. I don't know if he's the one killing him, but I don't know. He's involved with everything so far, and I don't know how that's relevant, and it's scaring me. Anyway, we're gonna get into it soon. I did say I was gonna get into my thoughts from the case after, because I was just dead tired and my brain was killing me. If you watch the video back, you'll see how insanely tired I was. Because the thing for me is that what's the word? Oh wait, one second. My mouse is acting up. The thing for me is that the thing with the case is that how it was that one part relevant. Like, you remember when I said it was the photo? And while I look back on that, and while I do think that the picture was relevant in this case, I don't think that was the right thing. I don't know what else could have been, but I don't know. That's the thing with the Ace Attorney. It's like some things that are not relevant by any means turn out to be relevant, or like there's one part of it you have to be very, very cautious about. It's kind of like how in the first game when you have to figure out what Kazuma well, how he died, and then like, oh, he wasn't he didn't do this, it was the fist. It's like, okay, I kind of get it, but at the same time it's like, was that really the right thing to say? I don't know. So that's how I feel about it. And also my thing with this is like, holy crap, Kazuma does not want to hold back. He wants to get everything solved in this case. He wants to know everything that's been going on. He wants to know. So I am very excited, and I am really excited to see how the rest of the case turns out. I don't know. Okay, as the title suggests, I don't know how much we are going to, how much we're going to find out. I don't even know we're going to be finished with this case yet, because we just got a totally new testimony. We're going to get a new testimony right now. So Lord knows where we're going to go with this. So we're going to get back into it. I may jump back the last few minutes so we can redo those lines, because I was just dead tired and I didn't want to do any voice acting. But I might go back and just redo those just for the sake of it. So let me just get into this right now. Let's see here. Okay. Let me see if we can jump back. I still like how this case was really good. I missed it so much. Let's see, where was the save file at? It was at trial part 2. Okay, trial part 2. Let's see. I really want to do that one thing, so okay, so okay, let's try from testimony 3. Actually, hold up. Legend. Let's do testimony 3, and see where we go from there. If not, we can always just jump back to the save file and we'll just leave it at that. Okay. No, this is not the right testimony. So we'll just jump back. We'll just go back to where we were because I don't want to like take too long to find out what happened. Okay. So give me 1 second while we get back into it. Okay. Let's see here. I've never taken the life of another, nor have I instructed another to kill. I've been investigating the truth behind the Reaper for years, and I was aware of Gregson's involvement. That's the reason why I went to Fresno Street that day, and how I came to discover the body. The point is, no common thread exists between myself, Gregson, and Dr. Wilson. Clearly, therefore, there is no reason to suspect me of being behind the assassin exchange.
So you deny all accusations by the prosecution? Both that you are the Reaper of the Bailey and that you masterminded the assassin exchange.
I acknowledged that the public at large believe me to be the Reaper. Oh, no, acknowledged. There we go. However, that's a fallacy which I alone am in a position to forswear. Naturally, the prosecution believes the testimony just given by the accused to be untrue. Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Yes. Let me ask you, why are you here? What really brings you to this courtroom? Because it's probably meant, why are you gay? I can only imagine, like, imagine he does that entire thing. It's like, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, let me ask you, why are you gay? That clip from that thing always gets me. I never watched the entire video because, oh my god, I don't even want to get into that. But imagine like how that turns out. A desire to uncover the truth, even if the truth proves your client to be guilty. From all my experiences in this courtroom, I've come to realize something. The truth can't be hidden. Sooner or later, it will come out. Like me. And me. You too? Yeah. So it's always my intention to work with my client in pursuit of the truth. I want you to remember what you just said.
Enough dilatory chatter. Counsel for the defense, proceed to cross-examine the witness.
Yes, my lord. I know exactly what you're thinking, Kazuma. I know you're just waiting to point it out. The contradiction you're convinced lies somewhere within this man's testimony. Here we go. Okay. Oh god, look at that. I only have 3. Okay, I gotta be very careful now. I've never taken the life of another, nor have I instructed another to kill. Hold it! So you're not what the general public referred to as the infamous Reaper of the Bailey. Exactly. Don't imagine for a moment that the court will be satisfied with a one-word answer on this. I realize that. That's 3 words for you. If you're intending to comment on every sentence, this would take a while. If you're intending to comment on every sentence, this could take a while, Kazuma. Didn't you find it disturbing, though? That one by one, defendants who'd been acquitted after your unsuccessful prosecution were killed. No. Let me answer that question by posing another. If one by one, defendants who'd been acquitted after your successful defense were killed, would you find that disturbing? Let me read that back. Yes, I would actually. Disturbing? I couldn't possibly say how that would make me feel with a one-word answer like that. Exactly. Well, that's all me. But even though I am not the Reaper, that doesn't mean I ignored all the hearsay. Okay, let's keep going. Hold it! You say for years. How long exactly? 69. Since the very first time the Reaper's influence was felt in this courtroom, 10 years ago now. Of course. Okay, I like how the phrase 10 years, it makes everyone's eyes roll because everyone knows exactly what you're talking about. And your investigations led you somehow to Inspector Gregson, you're saying? I didn't want to believe it. He was a personal acquaintance. We'd worked on cases together in the past. A friend, even. Well, no, not really a friend. He's just more like a pal. Maybe a friend with benefits, but we're not that close. It felt like a betrayal, but I demanded permission to search his office at the yard without his knowledge. So, you pulled Sholmes then? Which is when you found his secret notebook, is it? It's when I first learned of the location he'd noted only as Grouse, and the appointment at 5 PM on the 31st. Though I didn't know the significance of those details at the time. So now we're at the nub of the matter. As it turns out, the significance for me personally was very unfortunate. Let me see, give me 1 second, I gotta check something. That's the reason why I went to Fresno Street that day, and how I came to discover the body. Oh, forgot to... I just pressed the space without pressing it. But why did you go to that specific location? I thought that if it was the Reaper's headquarters, then by turning up there at 5 o'clock, I would catch whoever was involved red-handed. And also maybe red-headed. Sadly, all that was awaiting me was the inspector's corpse and the red hairpiece. Yes, even though it wasn't designed for you, you walked straight into the trap set by Jigoku. Exactly. Jigoku had intended to implicate Hyobun, but unhappily for me, I arrived at the scene first. A ridiculously careless blunder. Ah, shut up, Kazuma. You know, here's the thing. I keep saying these two are on par now because Sholmes goes down and then Kazuma goes down. Sholmes goes up and then Kazuma goes back up. It's all just a big bunch of hullabaloo going up and down, up, down, up, down. I don't even know what to think about these two anymore. So right now they're equal because Sholmes went down because of that pun, but now Kazuma's still going down because he's like being still mean to me. Come on, give us a break, okay? You're making this harder for Pride Month boyfriends. Moved on to just throwing insults around, I see then, Kazuma. Think what you will. It doesn't change the truth. The point is no competitive. Oh, yeah. Again, I pressed the wrong button! There it is. There is a link between you and Gregson, though. Of course, we were close acquaintances. We'd worked on numerous cases together. I considered the man to be a mentor of sorts. He taught me a number of important lessons. He did? Such as what? He told me how to use my mouth for hours. No. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Yeah, no, we're not going that far. We're not going there. We're not going there. What if to buy good fish and chips? Such like, of course. Well, that was convincing. Dr. Wilson was a coroner, of course, but that was some time in the past. And in any case, I understand it was several years ago now that he was invited to work at the Japanese university. That's right. He was a visiting professor at the Imperial Yume University in Tokyo. It should be unambiguously clear then that no link exists between myself and him. Well, funny you should say that because I got accused of his murder and I was almost put to death. And it was another murderer, Giselle Brett, or should I say Assassin, who was responsible for me. And I wanted to see her dead. Oh wait, no, she's already dead. How do I make this seem like I'm not the killer? Well, Ryunosuke, honestly, you can make yourself not the killer. Because, let's be honest, you can get away with anything. That's the thing with these protagonists and Ace Attorney. They can literally get the most guilty person alive, and they can still defend them. And they can say, oh, no, it wasn't me. It was this totally rando on the street who was the real killer, and they managed to find out the truth. I don't know. That's how this game is. These games are, and I love them for it. In other words, I had no motive for sending some assassin across the oceans to kill the man. It sounds plausible enough, and I want to believe it. But something about this just doesn't quite sit right with me. Clearly, therefore, there's no reason to suspect me of being behind the assassin exchange.
Hold it!
Certainly, as it stands, there's no evidence to suggest that you concocted the scheme.
Objection!
Of course. But as it stands, we have only the accused's insistence of his innocence. Oh my god, there's so many S's in here. Sorry? Perhaps there is some reason that would explain why he masterminded the assassin exchange. And if a reason could be established later in these proceedings, then the accused's claim in this testimony that he wasn't involved would amount to perjury. Well, yes, that's true, but clearly Kazuma-sama, intends to identify a reason and use it to make his case. So if we don't identify something first, he'll gain the advantage. This could be dangerous. Convincing testimony by Lord Van Zieks. Certainly, with no apparent connection between the three men, there's no way to establish a motive. The testimony seems unassailable as far as I can see. Oh dear me, what a bleak expression! I agree. There doesn't appear to be any particular link between them, at first glance. I think we all know what it is, though. But with the inclusion of one other person, I must be overthinking it, surely. Another person, Mr. Naruhodo? I need to think back over all the information we've gleaned so far. Alright, and I'll review my notes about the case and all the evidence in the court record. Could it be that Lord Van Zieks has something to hide after all? No, Ryunosuke, no. You don't treat your boyfriend like this. Okay? No, he is not. Even though this piece of evidence here does kind of imply that. Because, oh lord, everybody is on it. Just to be extra sure. Okay, this is obviously it. But just to be extra sure, because I only have 3 chances left. Lord, I'm not gonna do this again. Okay. Y'all ready for this? Let's go.
Objection!
What is this? An autopsy report. Wait, this is 10 years old. From the autopsy of Lord Clint Van Zieks. What? My brother's autopsy report?
I'm pleased to see the defense doesn't intend to run from the undeniable truth. Oh God, here comes the music. Huh? That's like from the game. Grum's playing this game, and that's the one thing I love.
Order in court. What reason do you have for presenting a 10-year-old autopsy report to your counsel?
This, the autopsy report of the professor's final victim, is an indelible link between Inspector Gregson, Dr. Wilson, and the defendant. Not that I curse the name again. The professor. Sorry, turn this down. I've personally researched all the court records relating to that case. I know that at the time, autopsy was considered sacrilege to the victims' souls. And for a member of the aristocracy like Lord Clint Van Zieks, it was unthinkable. But someone implored the powers that be to allow the autopsy to go ahead. Inspector Gregson. He declared that he was certain he would obtain conclusive proof from the procedure. And it was Dr. Wilson who conducted the autopsy. His signature is clearly visible on the document. As promised by Gregson, the autopsy did indeed produce evidence. Evidence that conclusively proved Genshin Asogi was guilty of the murders. Okay, they keep going on and on and on and on about this. What is this evidence? What's the evidence? I want to know, because I couldn't figure it out for the life of me. Okay, let me go back. Let's take a look at that autopsy report real quick. Let's glean this over real quick. So it goes here, blah blah blah. He was 33, died at that time and day. Death of a okay, here we go. Death from a single stab wound to the heart. Another superficial external wounds indicative of a duel. Recent, and then the notes, recent scarlet ink stains visible on the little and ring fingers of the right hand, but no documented corresponding ink was found. So, and then vital evidence recovered from the victim's stomach during autopsy. Credit to Inspector Gregson for petitioning so doggedly for the autopsy procedure. What is the evidence that proves that Asogi was the killer? What is it? Because I can't figure out for the freaking life of me. And they never told us. So I want to know, what's the evidence that proves that Genshin Asogi was the professor and the killer? I want to know. In my brother's dying moments, he mustered all his remaining strength to leave that vital clue behind.
Indeed, that was the key to indicting the professor for his crimes. And the conclusive...
oh my god! Oh no! I just gave him Van Zieks' voice. Whoops. Okay, let's do it again.
Indeed, that was the key to indicting the professor for his crimes and the conclusive evidence that convicted him. It enabled Lord Van Zieks here to avenge his brother's senseless death with a marvelous victory in court.
A marvelous victory, was it? I wonder if that's really true. Kazuma. Sholmes. Be careful, Kazuma. He's here. You're down here. This is getting really crazy. Great and crazy.
What?
Could the same be said if it turned out that the key piece of evidence in question was in fact fabricated? Oh. Okay, he's still down here, but I'm seeing what he's saying now. If the inspector, the coroner, and the prosecutor all colluded together to cast an innocent Japanese man as a mass murderer and send him to his death. Okay. That's outrageous! And now, 10 years later, for some reason the secret has been threatened and needs protecting. Which is why the inspector and the coroner had to be silenced, isn't it? By someone in power in Japan and in Britain, using the two killers recruited for the assassin exchange. Well, then that would be you, Kazuma, because your name was also on the telegram, so you're not quite free of all blame, you know? I mean, we know it was Jigoku, but hey, you were still the one responsible, so you took the mission, so you can't quite say that you're gonna get off scot-free.
Order at once.
10 years ago, my father was convicted in this very courtroom as a mass murderer to be sentenced to death. But it was all a sham, and I swore to myself that I'd prove it. Which is why I had to come to Britain, whatever the cost. Okay. So he's desperate. Okay. You'll have to forgive me if I feel compelled to toast this vengeful Nipponese tenacity of purpose here. However... Crush it! Yes! He who fails to quash his emotions in the courtroom has failed as a lawyer. That's true. Very true. Come on, Kazuma. You know this won't wash. You're claiming your father was misrepresented in a trial that took place a whole decade ago. You must see that without evidence, that's nothing more than a wild accusation. As it happens, I have evidence. Oh, okay. Okay. I see how it is. I see how it is, big boy. You think you have the big you have this big dick energy, huh? You think this is how it is? Huh? Okay, I guess that's how we play this game. Oh my god. But seriously though, like, of course he has evidence. Of course he believes that his father was innocent. Of course he believes that his father was wrongly killed. I mean, maybe it was, but at this time it's like, bruh, really? Also, these people behind us, like right here and up in the gallery, they're like, they have like popcorn. They're like, ooh, this is good. This part's good. I guess this is like an entire soap opera or like a telenovela or something. What? As the court has heard, I crossed the channel to France with Grayson on the 31st. I went with him on the pretext of being the assassin recruited to kill Seishiro Jigoku. But my true intentions were to make the inspector tell me the truth. What truth? Sorry, I need to hear my voice. The truth about the evidence, and he acknowledged what I'd already deduced. There's a closely guarded secret about what went on in the autopsy 10 years ago. What? A secret? I know nothing of any secret. I know, that's why it's called a secret. Well, why don't I know about this secret? Why wasn't I part of this clique? Because you can't sit with us. I really just made a Mean Girls reference right now. While we waited for my supposed Mark in Jigoku's cabin, I drew my clan's illustrious sword Karuma before the inspector's eyes. He very quickly understood what my true motive was. Okay, no, not him. I hate it. Right, I say, you're that Asogi's young lad, are you? And what? You're gonna cut me down with that thing? With that thing, is it? Is that it? That will very much depend on the answers you give me. Okay, sorry. Let me just go back to it. The last line. Right, I say, you're that Asogi. No, this is Australian. Right, I see. You're that Asogi's young lad, are you? And what? You're gonna cut me down with that thing, is it? Is that it? That's why, okay, that's it. That's close enough. That will very much depend on the answers you give to my questions. I want to know what really happened 10 years ago. The truth. That's all. Before we get into it, let me make one thing clear. I still believe our father was the professor. There's no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in my mind. But unfortunately, back then, we didn't have the evidence we need to make the crime stick. Oh. Let me say it again though. But unfortunately, back then we didn't have the evidence we needed to make the crime stick. Okay, so there was some kind of fabrication maybe going on, and obviously, okay, this is Cosmo's word though. So is it really reliable? Is it really reliable to have Cosmo's word for this? Who knows? Maybe. But after that outburst, I don't think his word is plausible, because he really let his emotion come through. And the one thing that definitely in court proceedings, as the lawyers, you really shouldn't get your feelings involved. So let's see here. I wonder what they probably did to make it seem like Genshin was the killer. I wonder what it is. So we'll figure it out right now. So, you admit it then. The evidence used in my father's trial was fabricated? Oh. It was for the good of the country. Anyway, I was just following orders. Orders? What exactly did you do? Speak! I'm not saying another word. And that's when I stabbed him. Even if your life depends on it. That's right. Even then. Of course, there it is. Told you. So that's when the tip of the sword broke. Oh, Kazuma-sama. Susato, don't be so teary-eyed over him. The results of Clint Van Zeek's autopsy were fabricated. Then the investigating officer Gregson and the lead coroner Wilson must have known about it. And they can only have been ordered to pervert the course of justice in that way by one man. The man leading the case for the prosecution, Barrick Van Zeeks. Ha. Funny story.
In other words, the defendant did have cause to organize this exchange of assassins.
No. Exactly. And as we established earlier, it has to have been the Reaper himself who liaised with Jigoku in Japan to arrange the exchange. So it follows that the Reaper's true identity can only be that of the man who stands accused in this courtroom today, Barrick Van Zeeks.
What?
Huh?
Objection!
Yes.
Kazuma Asogi.
What?
What you've just told the court. Are you absolutely certain of your facts? Did Gregson really fabricate evidence for that trial 10 years ago?
I heard it with my own ears. His shameful admission. And he starts crying. Starts crying.
In that case, I know the name of the Reaper.
Oh. Okay. So, who is it, Van Zeeks? Please tell me you're not joking around and you actually mean you know who it is, because I can't take another one where it's like, I think it's the person, but it's actually not the right person, because I'm so tired of hearing like the wrong person. Please, I just want to know who it is, because this entire mystery is hurting my head and I want to get down to the bottom of the mystery. Okay, here we go. What? What? Lord Van Zeeks?
I gave no such orders. I know that for certain.
Excuse me? which narrows down the remaining possibilities to one. Excuse me? Oh god. Sorry, I had a big lunch. If Lord Van Zieks isn't the one behind all this, then yes, there is only one other person who could have done something like that. Who though? I believe I know who it is too. You? I just had a feeling this name was going to come up. The true identity of the infamous Reaper of the Bailey is... Oh no. Oh no, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. Oh god. Okay. I mean, I kind of had a feeling like that was gonna come up, but like I should be paying more attention. Like not to say I wasn't paying like that much attention. I know I was paying attention to him and everything, but oh god, I didn't think you had to come to this. Frick. Okay. Well, okay. Real quick, let me save it here because I want to accuse this man. I think we all know who it is, but I just want to save because you can never be too sure, because even if you firmly believe that this man is the true Reaper of the Bailey, you can never be sure because we all know who it is. Let's say it all together, guys, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Iris! No. I mean, it's like I kept saying, it was kind of obvious that he was sus, and how he was involved with every single thing even 10 years ago. So I think it only makes sense that it's him, because literally, like, he's been pulling all the stops. He's the one doing everything, and he's the highest of anybody. He has, like, even says right here, he wields the absolute authority in judicial matters. So, including the appointment of lawyers. So, he has the power. It makes sense. And plus, he made himself very sus from the beginning.
Take that!
The only person who could have arranged the assassin exchange and manipulated the autopsy results is the Lord Chief Justice himself, Lord Mael Strongheart. Mile. What? Lord Strongheart? Yes, it's true that 10 years ago, the defendant handled the prosecution of the professor in court, but he only took over the case after his brother, Lord Clinton Van Zieks, had been killed. Huh? I am scared because we just flat out told him in his face that it's him. Oh no. Oh god, I am so scared. I'm so scared.
So, that's how we're gonna play. Fine, bitch. Let's play.
Lord, imagine that's how he's. Imagine like if you got sassy. Imagine he got sassy. He's like,
so, you bitch, that's how you like to play. Okay, then bitches, let's play.
no god, this is not a family-friendly stream today. This is not a family-friendly stream.
I can only assume that this is the most inappropriate joke in British judicial history.
Hi Mustang, welcome back in. I'm pretty sure you just heard that little moment I had right now. Exactly. Imagine, like, did you hear what I said about like how Strongheart would sound if he got sassy? Well, Lord Van Zieks. Okay. 10 years ago, I was very new to the profession. I would like. So we obviously know about how Strongheart looks, and he was like had his eyes closed, like because we just said, oh hey, I know who's behind all these killings. It's actually Lord Strongheart, and we firmly accused him, and he's like had his eyes closed, and I was like,
So bitch, that's how you like to play. Fine, okay, bitches, let's play.
And I was like, man, imagine if Lord Strongheart was like that freaking sassy. We would not live to see the end of day.
But I had a burning desire to avenge my brother's death, so I pleaded for control of the case. The investigation to that point, the supplication of the lords to allow my brother's corpse to be examined. All the evidence I was given, the autopsy reports, it all came from you. I've spent my life since then believing I was in your debt for the way you stood aside and let me handle the trial. But I see now, I was very much mistaken.
That is true. I forgot. Strongheart was supposed to be the prosecutor for the trial 10 years ago, but then at his begging and his plea, he allowed him to take it. So, kind of makes sense now, doesn't it? It was a hugely influential force that caused the inspector and the coroner to break the law 10 years ago. And that same force was still felt a decade later on. Okay, let me say it again. I cannot say this line correctly. And that same force was still felt a decade later on the other side of the world by Seishiro Jigoku. Lord Strongheart. Everything falls into place when we recognize that you are the Reaper of the Bailey.
So, I see. We're not playing games anymore.
Oh, another leg.
The court awaits your response, my lord. Kiss my boot. This may very well go down in British judicial history, but I assure you, it is no joke. Consider this a formal accusal by the defense. I plead the fifth. It doesn't warrant a response.
So he is pleading the fifth. Huh?
A formal accusal. Don't be absurd. The defense's claims are utter nonsense. A wild fantasy at best.
You're not going to defend yourself?
You claim there was some wrongdoing with Lord Clint Van Zeeks' autopsy. That's utterly untrue.
Objection!
But I heard it from Gregson's own lips. Oh no, that's my voice. Sorry. But I heard it from Gregson's own lips. He admitted to it.
And where is your evidence?
That is true. Oh Lord, he's turning on us. He's like turning on everybody in this place. Oh Lord. I'm so sorry, my lord. I didn't mean to. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. What?
Gregson's dead now. Unless you were thinking of summoning a ghost to the stand.
Oh God, he has us there.
Gregson's dead now. Unless you were thinking of summoning a ghost to the stand.
You mean to say?
I forget how the system works in your little back. I forget how the
Sorry. I hate these lines.
I forget how the system works in your little backwater country.
Oh no, you don't get to say that about Japan. That's not backwater. You're backwater.
But in the courts of the British Empire, without evidence, there is no case.
Oh shh.
I have no intention of entertaining some wild fantasy that can't possibly be substantiated by anyone or anything. Order in court. Following Inspector Gregson's murder and in the light of Dr. Wilson's death as well, there's really no one left who could testify about the events of 10 years ago, is there?
So that was the real purpose of the assassin exchange.
What do you think, Mr. Unicorn? Tell this man exactly how I feel about being accused of this murder.
My lord. Oh god. It's just like like that's horrifying. Like seeing him with his thing and like he's like beating his hand with it. It's just like Judge Jigoku with his gavel in Japan, and like, well, that's even more terrifying because that thing could both of them could kill you with the right amount of force, but that one could stab you right through the head because it has a unicorn horn. Oh lord. Okay. Oh god, that's just terrifying.
This court has no business raking over the coals of a case that was concluded a decade ago. The accusal brought by the prosecution and the defense is categorically denied. I take it there are no objections.
Kazuma. He's more or less waited his whole life for this moment. He's been waiting for a moment like this because some people search forever. What is with all these references I'm making today? Is there really nothing else we can do now? Is there no other avenue we can go down in pursuit of the truth about what happened all those years ago? If only there was someone who could testify about Clint Van Ziek's autopsy. Okay, let's say there is somebody. There has to be somebody. He's gone to extraordinary lengths to cover his tracks, even so far as dispatching an assassin all the way to Japan to ensure Dr. Wilson's silence. And Dr. Scythe won't say anything against Strongheart. But there's still one ray of hope, and I feel that he might just come home again. Oh, what? Ryunosuke. Huh. Actually, there is one person who could still testify about that autopsy.
Don't be ridiculous. There's no one left.
Who, Ryunosuke? Who? Tell me. That's 3 references in a row. My god. Kazuma, please, the trial can't end. Not yet. I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing it for the truth.
The truth is irrelevant.
The person the defense would like to call to the stand to testify about the autopsy of Lord Clint Van Zieks is... Well, okay. Let me just save it here, because I feel like she is going to be the one who... I feel like it's her, because her mother told her all the stories, and she's literally the only person left who can tell the story. I mean, and also the backup is just Kaden, but he wasn't there present. It was only him. Oh wait. Oh duh, Mikotoba. Okay, we'll do Mikotoba first. We'll do Mikotoba and then we'll go to Dr. Gory.
Take that!
Okay, I was right. Okay, thank God I was right. Luckily I didn't say Gory because I was convinced that was her. But thank God I looked at Mikotoba like, oh wait, he wrote the autopsy report. Also, this is very racist.
Heaven help us, another Japanese.
An expert in forensic science and an expert in forensic medicine, my lord. Professor Yujin Mikotoba. 16 years ago, he came to London with Seishiro Jigoku and Genshin Isoki as a visiting student.
And what could his testimony possibly tell us?
Professor Mikotoba was the primary assistant during the autopsy in question. He was also the person who actually penned the report.
Incorrect. The autopsy was carried out by the coroner, Dr. Wilson. The report carries his signature.
It was the primary assistant's duty to keep I cannot say these lines correctly. It was the primary assistant's duty to keep a written record of the coroner's work during the procedure. In actual fact, the coroner merely read over the report at the end and signed it. In other words, Professor Mikotoba witnessed the entire autopsy from start to finish. The defense demands that Professor Mikotoba be summoned as a witness as a matter of urgency. Whatever really happened in that autopsy laboratory... Whatever really happened in that autopsy laboratory 10 years ago is something only he can tell us.
No. The defense's demand is denied. I told you.
What? But Professor Mikotoba is in London at this very moment. We could summon him to the stand in minutes. No, of course he's not going to agree to it. Strongheart has no intention of summoning anyone who knows. He's too concerned about protecting himself.
Prosecutor Asogi, let me refresh your memory, as you seem to have forgotten the prosecution's stance. Only minutes ago, you accused the defendant of being the Reaper and of masterminding the assassin exchange.
I did, yes.
So, present your evidence for those claims and make your case complete.
At this time, I don't have the requisite evidence, but that's exactly why we need witness testimony.
How many fucking times do I have to deal with this today?
Oh my god, I'm just making him too freaking sassy, and I'm sorry that this is not a family-friendly stream.
The professor case is closed. There are no clues in the distant past that will bolster your argument today. I'm afraid to say, Prosecutor Sogi, that you would appear to be possessed by the spirit of your late homicidal father.
Oh, shut up!
Now, as I stated earlier, this court has already reached a conclusion with respect to the matter at hand. Inspector Gregson was murdered by Japanese Supreme Court Judge...
Oh, sorry, that was a weird phrasing.
Inspector Gregson was murdered by Japanese Supreme Court Judge Seishiro Jigoku. As for any hidden circumstances that may exist, they will be investigated in due course by the proper authorities.
Objection!
But we all know what will happen. That'll just give the mastermind of the whole adventure time to cover his tracks again.
By which you mean me, you bitch.
I'm sorry!
Your punishment for this contemptible behavior will be decided at a later date. As for you, Prosecutor Sogi.
Let me do it again, because I was going up too high.
Your punishment for this contemptible behavior will be decided at a later date. As for you, Prosecutor Sogi, you will be remanded following these proceedings. Willingly, I trust, since you gave your word.
My god, what is happening? Like, can we just, like, stop this? We need to know. We need to put an end to this. We need to have this stop. My god. Is anyone gonna object to this?
This futile game of revenge is over, young Master Asogi.
God. He doesn't want it to end, but, like, there's nothing we can do.
That will be all. I hereby declare this trial to be over. Okay.
Huh?
What?
Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes! Yes! He just burst in. I knew that was gonna happen.
This is no place for amateur detection, Mr. Sholmes.
Oh my god. This is so good. I'm so excited.
May I remind you that these proceedings are closed to the general public. You will leave the courtroom at once.
Wait, what was he gonna say? Let me look it up. The court is adjourned. Okay.
Objection!
Mr. Sholmes was instrumental in the apprehension of Seishiro Jigoku before he fled from Europe. The court should hear what he has to say.
Lord Mayor Strongheart, it's imperative that you refrain from bringing this trial to an end at this stage. Is it really? And why would that be? You need only recall your own words from the opening of the trial to answer that question, if I may. We will stop at nothing to uncover the whole truth behind these disturbing findings. Surely it can't be that the shock of being accused of being the Reaper yourself has erased that from your memory, can it? Huh. The whole truth, sir, has already been uncovered. I beg to differ. It would seem that we have a great many important members of the judiciary present here today. I put it to you, my dear fellows, should the trial end at this juncture? After all, why have you been invited to attend? To nod along? To nod along to the...
Okay. I hate the word prevarications because it's so hard to say.
After all, why have you been invited to attend? To nod along to the prevarications of your superiors? Order! Order in court! It seems to me that we stand before a door that leads to a new era of legal practices. A door that is ajar. Let us emerge from the shadows of the Reaper's decade-long ascendancy. For you and you alone, my dear fellows, have the power to push this door open now.
Oh, the crowd is getting... I thought that was like something else. But that's the crowd talking.
The auditors in the gallery have no right to express an opinion on court proceedings. Silence!
He's right. The judge has absolute authority here. Yes, if he calls the trial to an end, it must end. But will that really do?
I sense dark things occurring behind the scenes. Dark things indeed.
Is there a single person here present who can honestly... Oh wait, what was it? Is there honestly a single person here present who can honestly say he doesn't sense the same? What? Oh my god, they're all... The trial should go on. Summon the witness. Summon the witness. That's right. We need to clear this up before that young Japanese fellow is remanded in custody. Remanded in custody. Huh? My lord, you assured those present that you would uncover the whole truth here.
Vindicate yourself of this outlandish standard. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. That's the very foundation of British law. A toast to my dependable colleagues in the gallery.
He's like,
well, thank you. My God.
Oh my god, this is so good.
Well, my lord, you hear the voice of British justice. You hear the voice of British justice, I take it. I think you'll find it will be.
I can't deal with the testifying in the background. Bye. Test.
I think you'll find it. I think you'll find it will be rather awkward to silence.
Oh god, what is he gonna do?
The court will recess briefly.
Huh?
I have no intention of shrinking. I have no intention of shrinking from these allegations. Bailiff, arrange for the subpoena of the witness at once. As soon as the gentleman arrives at the courthouse, we shall reconvene. A recess will be necessary, my lord. Pardon?
Yes! And there's no time for him to get any false evidence or make anything up.
Mikotoba is a close friend of mine. He accompanied me today and is waiting in the antechamber as we speak. I do believe he's been enjoying a little trip down memory lane, in fact.
Professor Mikotoba is here in the courthouse? Mr. Sholmes, you didn't know this would happen, did you? Of course he knew! It's Sholmes! He knows every single freaking moment of this case, and I don't know how he knows. He's like, okay, his brain's bigger than mine. It's not smooth brain. There's creases in his brain like crazy. My God. I tell you, he's freaking competent. He just pretends he's not it. He's not. My God. I need to drink a coffee. My dear fellow, no one is in a better position to answer that question than you, Shirley. I wasn't just asking for the fun of it, you know. It's true. Actually, hold up. Did I say that right? My dear fellow. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. My dear fellow, no one is in a better position to answer that question than you, Shirley. There you go.
Well, I must thank you for your assistance in this matter, Mr. Sholmes. However, you are of no further use here. Kindly leave the courtroom at once.
No, let him stay. Let him stay. Let him stay. Let him stay. Come on, say it with me. Everyone's just like, we only helped you for that one bit. You're not getting anything else.
But of course, in truth, I find myself rather busy now as a result of these developments.
Oh, come on, Sholmes. Stay.
Mr. Naruhodo.
Mister. It's like saying like the Tootsie Pop commercial. Mr. Owl. Mr. Owl. Yes?
I trust you have Iris's little lucky charm with you.
Oh, do we get to use it again? Absolutely, it's still in my pocket.
She sends her regards and a reminder. If you find yourself at a dead end, the ears are at your disposal. Just one tug, if you please.
Oh, we get to use it again! Oh, of course.
In that case, the trial will continue without delay. Bailiff, show the witness to the stand.
Here we go. So it's Lord Strongheart. He's the Reaper of the Bailey. Where exactly is this trial going to take me, I wonder? Just how deep am I about to be plunged into the blackness of the abyss? Well, I'm ready. I'm ready to head into the heart of this maelstrom and confront whatever horrors it tries to drown me under. There it is, maelstrom. But we'll be right back after these messages. Oh my God, this is so good. My God, that was an eventful 20 minutes. 15-20 minutes. We go from Van Zieks being accused of being the Reaper of the Bailey, and then we flip it, so now Strongheart is the one who's but hey, we admit we knew Sussheart was sus from the beginning. We knew from the beginning too. So I'm actually really excited to see how this goes. What else is there? That cameo by Sholmes and him coming in hey, use this again. And also, hey everyone, you want to testify? Come on, say it with me. Testify. That was so good. Okay, we gotta keep going. Oh God. Dr. Gory's here too. I just like the face, she's looking at him. He's like, get me away from this child. So, witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. Eugen Mikotoba, lecturer in foreign medicine in forensic medicine at the Imperial Yuma University in Tokyo, Japan. Well, I guess you could say it is foreign medicine, but that's what I teach. Hello. And Professor Mikotoba, the young lady beside you is... This is Dr. Maria Gory, Scotland Yard's practicing coroner. The daughter of Dr. Scythe, I understand. Yes, Dr. Scythe. I'm afraid I can't tell you why she's here. She just appeared. She looks dead. Oh no, never mind. Okay. You summoned this strange Japanese man as a witness to that autopsy. But you don't summon Mama. That makes no sense. She was there too. That's about the size of it. I've had her eyes boring into the side of my cheek constantly, whilst I was in the antechamber too. Well, where did she come from? How did she know about this? Poor man. The idea of it's making me shudder.
The revelations about Dr. Scythe that came to light some days ago defiled the reputation of the entire judiciary. She was therefore deemed unfit to appear as a witness in today's proceedings. The Ministry of Justice's decision on that is final.
Well, we wouldn't want any more perjury to be committed, would we? I'm trying to get her voice back in my brain. Give me a second. The Ministry of Justice. Some questionable strings are being pulled, I think. Exactly.
I remember you, Dr. Mikotoba. But I certainly never expected to be meeting you under these circumstances.
Excuse me. Yes, it's been a while, Lord Strongheart. The prosecution understands that you were a visiting student of forensic science in London until 10 years ago. That's right. I studied under Dr. Wilson at St. Siners. So you were present at the autopsy of my brother, Lord Clint Van Zeeks. Clint Van Zeeks. I was, yes. I assisted Dr. Wilson with the entire procedure. Mama is far more skilled than any Japanese man. No, it's actually a bit high. Mama is far more skilled than any Japanese man. Well, Dr. Wilson asked me to be his primary assistant on that occasion. And this autopsy report was actually penned by you, I believe. Yes, I noted all the doctor's findings, and when we were done, he read through the document and signed it. Poor Mama. A secondary assistant. She wouldn't have had. Sorry, I cannot say it. Poor Mama. As a secondary assistant, she wouldn't have had such a good view of all the innards. She can't. She's like, poor Mama. She didn't get to see any blood. So, Professor, do you remember Inspector Gregson? Yes, of course. If it wasn't for his insistence, Lord Van Zeeks' autopsy would never have happened. But he was absolutely convinced that it would reveal decisive evidence against Genshin, you see. So Lord Strongheart had to entreat the nobility to allow it to take place. Do correct me if I'm wrong, my lord.
It was as a result of that autopsy that a mass murderer was apprehended and justice was done.
But Gregson admitted to it before he was killed. There was no there was no evidence to prove that my father.
Enough about your father.
He admitted that the results of the autopsy were fabricated. You were there at the time, so you must testify. You have an obligation to tell the truth about what really went on. Absolutely. That's precisely why I'm here. And that's why I'm here too. And that's why I'm here too. There we go.
Very well then. You will give your formal testimony now, witness. But before you begin, a word of warning.
Oh?
You will state truthfully and accurately what you saw and what you heard at the time.
I wouldn't dream of doing otherwise, my lord.
The moment your testimony verges on supposition, I will expel you from my courtroom. Remember that.
So basically saying,
If you say anything about me, you are getting the fuck out.
I think there's like too many swears. Okay, I think that may be the last time I'm gonna swear in this stream. Watch me swear again in like 5 minutes. From my own observations, I couldn't say there was any indication of the autopsy results having been fabricated. Death resulted from a wound made by a Western-styled sword transfixing the heart. That I found a little strange. There were no other signs of internal injury. Nothing questionable at all. It was just that beautiful but dangerous piece of evidence removed from the man's stomach. Presumed to have been swallowed by the victim, as a way of posthumously identifying his assailant. Okay, what did he swallow? No indication. Nothing to suggest fabrication. Professor Mikotoba, are you certain about that? Well, nothing that I could positively identify as such, much less swear to in testimony. Ugh. Oh no, you don't.
Well, that clears things up nicely.
Oh, look at that smug face.
The only fabrication here, Asogi, has come from you.
What?
You claim the inspector confessed just before his death, but that is the fabrication.
No, he freely acknowledged it. I swear he did.
Freely, with the tip of a sword at his throat. The man was clearly at his wit's end. The court will give no credence to this confession that was uttered in obvious desperation.
It's a credence? I think it's credence.
Quite simply, there was nothing questionable about the investigation of Lord Clint Van Zeeks' death. And with this testimony we have, without question, uncovered the whole truth of the matter.
If I may, my lord. There was most certainly something questionable about it, and the whole truth does rather elude us, I feel.
I beg your pardon.
Well, you're obviously aware of the facts of the case. All 4 of the professor's previous victims, died when an enormous beast was set upon them that ripped out their throats. Oh, such horrifying crime. The Hound of the Baskervilles! I remember that now! Okay, so that's what's different about his death. He didn't have his throat slit. Oh, throat torn out. Oh, such horrifying crimes. But curiously, the killer's last victim, Lord Clint Van Zeeks, suffered a different fate. Yes, you're right. Yes, you're right. He was stabbed through the heart with a sword. But who's to blame? I did make that kind of joke in the first game when it was when Gina was accused of killing that one guy of the pawn shop. I said, shot through the heart and Gina's to blame. She gave love a bad name. I wish I could go back to that because when I sang it, it's just like it was so genuine. I started cracking it for like a good minute. Oh god.
That's enough.
Huh?
I believe I warned you about this witness. I promised to curtail your testimony as soon as it entered the realms of suspicion or speculation. Supposition or speculation.
Very well, my lord. In that case, the defense will pursue a conclusion to this during the cross-examination.
What?
I have the right to cross-examine every witness after their testimony. And I fully intend to exercise that right. That's right, Ryunosuke. Assert yourself. Give them that Dom Top energy. Ryunosuke, I'm afraid that even the presiding judge has no authority to contravene the letter of the law. As I'm sure every member of I like to pictures going like this. As I'm sure every member of the judiciary present in the gallery would agree. You know very well that she did that. Like, she went like, would agree. Like when you're around 360.
Very well. You may begin, counsel. However, the moment your argument strays from the established facts, I will not hesitate to bring the cross-examination to an end. Proceed with caution.
Yes, my lord. Okay, so I think we have to just we have to press, but we have to be very careful what we do. Let's do it. Okay. Quickly save here, so that way we have a place to go back to, just in case something happens. Oh, we get 5. I forgot. We get 5 things now. Thank God, because I was down to 3.
Hold it!
You couldn't say. No, sadly not. But then you couldn't say there wasn't any indication either, could you? No, true, I couldn't. I was at Dr. Wilson's side as he performed the procedure, recording what he did. But at times, of course, he instructed me to fetch implements and such like. Whilst I was away from the operating table, obviously I could have missed something. And at those times, what was the secondary assistant doing? Following this Japanese man's orders to adjust the lighting of passing implements. But that doesn't mean Mama wasn't a vital part of the team. Quite, yes. So would you kindly refrain from staring at my cheek while saying my cheek like that? I will not stop at staring at you. My mama should have been the primary. You Japanese man. That's your insult. I have nothing further to say. Professor Mikotoba, think, was there nothing at all that seemed out of place to you? Well, yes, there was, as a matter of fact. Okay, blah.
Hold it!
In all the previous 4 killings attributed to the professor, the victims were killed by an enormous dog, I believe. Their throats were, well, mauled? Correct. And yet Lord Van Zieks was stabbed. Do you mean to say you think Lord Clint Van Zieks may not in fact have been one of the professor's victims?
There is no basis on which to doubt the findings of the investigations carried out at the time.
But
Genshin Asogi confessed to all of his crimes upon his arrest. He admitted to having taken the lives of all 5 members of the aristocracy.
Ugh. Yet the beast that was used to carry out the killings was never identified. No evidence was found to suggest that Genshin had ever kept a dog. A true hound of hell. This is very interesting though. Like, why was he different? Like, what was significant about that? That's what I found very interesting. There were no questions. Okay, there you go. Okay, nothing questionable at all. But, you weren't actually present at the autopsy yourself, were you, Dr. Gory? Of course not. I'm just a child. Does that matter? Does that matter? Well, I just wonder how useful your testimony can be in that case, really. I mean, it would be different if your mother, Dr. Scythe, were in the stand, but... Oh, let me just...
I read all the paperwork about the case, and the Mars told me the story countless times. The statement I just made is exactly what's written in the autopsy report.
I did confirm that myself at the time, it's true. Besides the stab wound, there were no other signs of internal trauma. I see. Mama told me all about it. No, that's Canadian. That was more Canadian. Mama told me all about it. Oh? She said there was nothing of note internally. But they did find an amazing piece of evidence. Something unbelievable. Unbelievable? What do you mean? Come on, Dr. Gory. What was it? Why the hell would I trust you? Ugh. Okay, so say what it is. Because I'm tired of beating around the bush here. What exactly was it, though? What does beautiful but dangerous mean? Well, it was sparkly and round with a hole, as if it might slip over a finger perhaps. It was a ring belonging to Genshin Asogi. Oh. But wait, couldn't they just play like, oh, okay. So maybe that's what they mean by fabricated evidence. My father's ring was inside the victim's stomach? Oh no, that was so much like Mikitoba. My father's ring was inside the victim's stomach? At the time, Genshin wore a large ring on the Digitus quarters. Okay. The Digitus quarters, there we go. At the time, Genshin wore a large ring on the Digitus quarters of his left hand, the fourth or ring finger. I'd understood it was some sort of keepsake. When my father left for Japan for London 16 years ago, I was 8 years old. But I remember that ring. You do? My father's possessions were sent to our family home in Japan after his death, but the ring wasn't among them.
Obviously not. It was a key piece of evidence. It remains under lock and key in the stores at Scotland Yard to this day.
After the autopsy, Genshin was summoned by the police to check for the presence of his ring. It wasn't on his hand, of course. Moreover, there were deep abrasions on his finger where it had been pulled off. They arrested the man there and then, right before my eyes. How could they? I brought the ring along with me today. What? Wow. That is a very sizable ring. Here it is. A bit dusty from years in the stores. Good gracious. Yes, that's it. I haven't seen that in 10 long years. And that was found inside the victim's stomach? Yes, I'm afraid so. You hesitated there, Professor Mikitoba. Should we read something into that? Well, it's just that thinking back now, I didn't actually witness the moment it was extracted from the victim's body. Oh my, really? At that precise moment, Dr. Wilson had asked me to fetch him a new scalpel. Okay, I see where we're playing at. I see where we're getting at now. Okay.
Dr. Gory, the removal of historic evidence from the stores requires my consent, does it not?
I'm not going to talk to you.
However it came to be here, the court cannot deny that this is crucial evidence for today's proceedings.
Very well. You may submit it. I don't know why I'm allowing you to do it, but you may admit it.
Mr. Asogi's ring has been entered into the court record. It's not the sort of ring normally seen in Japan. They almost look like claws protecting this jewel. Okay, quickly, let's examine it. These fat claws are doing a good job of protecting the equally fat gemstone in the middle of this ring. Yes, if you were clumsy, you could give yourself a rather nasty cut on them, I should think. Ow! Now my finger's bleeding. These claws are really sharp. Really are sharp. Ryunosuke. Please, you're just as clumsy as me. Oh my, that was very quick clumsiness, Mr. Naruhodo, even for you. I knew it. Who would make such a dangerous ring? You couldn't swallow it without doing yourself some fairly serious damage, surely. A sticky mochi bun of that size would go down much better, with some red bean paste in the middle. Oh my god, now I'm getting hungry. Someone as clumsy as me would probably manage to choke on it somehow. That's true. Me too. Even I admit that. And is there any other piece of evidence in here? Okay, so far nothing. Okay, did I say the last? Yeah. We must examine it very carefully, Mr. Naruhodo. Very carefully indeed. So we did. Okay. Let's see here. Let me just look over this thing really quick. Is there anything on here that I could have possibly missed? No. No. Okay, nothing out of the ordinary on here. Okay. No. Okay, there's nothing else we can look at.
Hold it!
And that was the decisive piece of evidence that led to Genshin Asogi's arrest.
Correct. After further investigations by Scotland Yard, the man admitted to his crimes.
That's a lie. My father was no killer. Barrack Van Zeeks, it was you. You twisted the truth to suit your purposes. He was trying to protect his brother. What do you think he was gonna do? Your hatred of me doesn't change the fact that were established 10 years ago. Ugh. My brother Clint had closed in on the professor. In the end, he exposed the man and put a stop to his lethal rampage. In the way only a man of my brother's caliber could. That's everything, is it? Poor father. He looks so troubled. Perhaps because 10 years ago, something happened that's been weighing on his mind. Oh? I couldn't say were his words. That phrasing was very deliberate, I'm sure. I wonder if he's had his suspicions all these years. If that's the case, we need to use this cross-examination to prove what really happened, and remove any trace of doubt. If we could establish that Kazuma-sama's claim of fabricated evidence was true, we can't shy away from this now. Even if what we might uncover could lead to total calamity. Don't worry, Mr. Naruhodo. I'll be right beside you, whatever may happen. Okay, so now that we have that new piece of evidence, let me save this so I can make sure that we have it for the rest of the cross examination. Okay, and let's see. Let's see what we have. We have that one. We have the ring. That. Okay, the ones that are really important are this. Let's see. Okay. Yes. Okay. I think this one's gonna be this might be interesting. So let's present here.
Objection!
There we go. The court has heard that the ring was extracted from the victim's stomach. But you didn't actually see it being removed, did you, Professor Mikotoba? That's right. As I said in my testimony before. At that moment, I was fetching a replacement scalpel that Dr. Wilson had requested. In other words, You can neither confirm nor deny whether this ring, in fact, really came from the victim's stomach or not.
What are you suggesting, counsel?
That the ring was never in the victim's stomach to begin with. It's entirely feasible that Dr. Wilson fabricated that detail about the autopsy. What are you saying? What are you saying? That Dr. Wilson was in possession of the ring in advance after it was somehow stolen from Mr. Asogi. And he produced it during the procedure, pretending to have found it there and then in the victim's stomach.
Objection!
Supposition at best. What possible evidence do we have to support such a rash claim? This evidence right here. Oh, it's the autopsy. That's the autopsy report. Okay, so we could have presented the autopsy report, because what was also in the autopsy report? It was no internal trauma noted anywhere in the body. I think we had to present the ring though, but we also could possibly done the autopsy report somewhere.
It's explicit in that report, counsel. Other than the ring, nothing unusual was noted internally, so I'm not sure how you intend to prove your point.
You've already done it for me, my lord. The lack of internal injury says it all.
What?
To swallow a ring of this size would require considerable effort and determination. And in addition to its size, there are... let me say it again. And in addition to its size, there are the sharp claws around the gemstone to contend with. My brother was a determined man, and on the brink of death, even more so, I'm sure. He would have stopped at nothing to ensure that evil kill... I cannot say these lines today. He would have stopped at nothing to ensure that evil killer was brought to justice. But if he really had swallowed that enormous ring, it's inconceivable that no traces of its passage down his throat would have remained as internal trauma.
No.
And there you've arrived at the sticking point. That's precisely why I had my doubts about the findings myself 10 years ago. Then why didn't you say something at the time? I did. I still remember the conversation I had with Dr. Wilson in the laboratory that day. Oh, flashback! Oh! I haven't done Wilson's voice ever before.
Look at this. Now this is a very curious thing to find in a man's stomach, wouldn't you say?
But... oh no, but... I'm trying to make it sound a bit younger. But isn't that rather peculiar, Dr. Wilson?
What's that now, Mikotoba?
Oh no, okay. It sounds too much like Shams.
What's that now, Mikotoba?
Well, if he swallowed a ring of that size, with those sharp metal claws that it has, surely you'd expect to see damage to the throat and esophagus. Torn mucous membranes at the very least.
Dr. Mikotoba, may I remind you that I have vastly more experience than you.
I'm terribly sorry. Okay, so that's where it all started then. Okay, and oh boy, this is the start of it, huh?
I can think of plenty of ways to explain why no injuries would be seen. No, let's say this. The victim would appear to have ingested the item as evidence to identify his assailant. Go ahead, write it down.
Oh god, he was involved, yeah. So I was right. Dr. Wilson deliberately fabricated the results of the autopsy to implicate my father.
I'm disappointed, counsel. That argument is nothing more than speculation.
What?
Dr. Wilson was Britain's leading authority on forensic science and autopsy work. There is no scientific basis on which to doubt the man's expert opinion.
Pardon the interruption, my lord, but damage to the mucous membranes of the throat is easily identified in living subjects.
Okay. Using a device called an endoscope, recently demonstrated in practical use in France. I want one. The government can pay. It will be my birthday present or my Christmas gift.
I don't think so, and Dr. Gory, rest assured that your removal of evidence from the stores without permission will not go unpunished.
Oh my god, he is on the ropes now. And Dr. Gory, Jesus Christ, calm down, girl. We know you're crazy, but sheesh. Also, I can't expect him to go like,
but this isn't France now, is it? We are in Her Majesty's great country of Great Britain.
I expected it to be like that kind of like superiority complex to come in.
We open up the dead to find the truth. We open up the dead to find the truth.
Huh?
I beg your pardon.
Rip it off. But Mama, she chose to stitch her corpses up with all her secrets inside. I know. But Mama, she chose to stitch her corpses up with all her secrets inside. That's wrong.
What's with all these metaphors?
Dr. Gory, it's looking as though she's chosen to walk a different path to her mama. Yes. Oh, I said the right thing.
Yes, the ring.
What about the ring? I've just remembered something. Everyone's remembering things now. An earlier incident. What incident?
The one I recounted to you before, about the memory I have of Genshin Asogi saving my life.
What? My father saved your life? Oh my god. I actually remembered. I forgot to do the echo for the other one, but I thought we were going to see a face. Okay, I'll do the echo right now. Don't worry.
It was 10 years ago on a foggy night. Genshin and I were walking down some back street at a late hour. All of a sudden.
Oh, do I have to do double the amount for a double flashback?
Don't make a pipe. You're coming with us.
There we go. Jesus.
All of our assailants were armed with pistols, their faces obscured by scarves. The next thing I knew, there was silence all around. Genshin lay on the cobbled street. Blood was seeping from his left hand. He shielded me.
What is the thing I'm doing?
It was on that ring finger of his left hand that he used to wear that ring.
Are you saying?
I've always believed those thugs were after me. But now I'm starting to question if perhaps I wasn't the intended target after all.
Wait, but
Genshin was arrested 2 days after the attack. And in that short interval, the decisive evidence needed to indict them was miraculously found.
You mean the ring was stolen from him? You think that's what those thugs were after that night? Ooh, interesting.
Attention.
Of course. You pathetic coward. You expect me to believe that you weren't involved?
What do you mean by that?
It was you, wasn't it? You're the one who took it. You stole my father's ring. Oh, Kazuma! He's not involved! You set the whole thing up so you can paint him as a mass murderer and... Kazuma! Kazuma! Open your eyes. Ryunosuke? You must know deep down. The truth can be completely obscured even when your judgment is only slightly clouded. But at the moment, you seem to be floundering through a dense fog. Is that why you were so insistent I should be present in this trial? To see you like this?
Well, this is an amusing spectacle.
Oh, shut up, strong heart.
What a grandiose expression on your face, as if you were Lady Justice herself.
Oh, okay. Can we murder this man on the spot? Is that possible? I want this man killed right now.
It seems you've thoroughly convinced yourself of this alleged fabrication of the autopsy results. So much so that you're apparently blind to the blatant contradiction that would be born out of it.
What?
Though it's extremely hard to believe, let us imagine that there was some misconduct during the autopsy. If that were the case, why would Asogi not have disputed the findings in his trial?
Oh god, that smug ass smile. Oh.
In the closed court hearing 10 years ago, the defendant never once denied the claims against him. Isn't that right, Lord Van Zieks?
Yes, that is indeed correct. Upon hearing the verdict of guilty, he merely closed his eyes quietly, accepting the judgment. The actions of a man who has accepted responsibility for his deeds and is resigned to his fate. But then... Oh my, that is very strange. If Mr. Asogi did nothing to oppose the charges against him, then... that would surely mean there was no fabricated evidence.
An obvious conclusion at which you should have arrived many minutes ago, Prosecutor Asogi. Your twisted loyalty and clouded judgment are hampering your ability for logical thought. Genshin Asogi's silence at his hearing can mean only one thing. There was no fabrication of evidence during the autopsy of his final victim 10 years ago.
Oh, come on. There has to be more. But if that autopsy was all above board, there will be nothing to stop Lord Strongheart bringing this trial to an immediate conclusion.
Objection.
Of course. There we go. Come on, Mr. Kazuma. Keep going. We gotta keep it going. Oh, that was a new sound. Thank you, Ryunosuke. If it wasn't for your frank words just now, this trial may very well have ended prematurely. Kazuma?
What's this latest absurdity, Counsel?
My lord, your reasoning is perfectly sound. But for one giant hole.
Ooh. I beg your pardon.
You claim my father's silence was due to the fact that there was no fabricated evidence. But there's another possible explanation. You've overlooked the possibility that he had a reason for maintaining that silence.
Objection.
Silence that would lead him to being convicted and sent to his death. If the autopsy results were an invention, there's no conceivable reason why the man wouldn't have protested.
Objection.
Oh my god. Oh, those results were an invention, alright. There's no question of that. My god. This is like I say, it's like this is soap opera. Everyone's like this. It's like bouncing back and forth all over this courtroom. Or are you forgetting that two people with a connection to that autopsy have been assassinated? If I force the grievances I feel from my mind, I start to see you in a very different light. I think perhaps it's you who's been living in delusion these 10 years.
Me?
Kazuma-sama has created one last chance for us here, Mr. Naruhodo. If we can only show there was a reason for his father's silence in his trial. A reason why the man would have said nothing, even though he was innocent. Could it have been part of some negotiation, perhaps?
Enough rhetoric. The court must be shown evidence. What proof do you have that could possibly explain Asogi's silence in court?
Is it his will? I think it's the will. Let me save and let me present the will. I feel like that's the thing.
Take that!
Nope, I was wrong. Okay. I figured. Okay. I knew that was wrong. Thank God I saved. Because I didn't want to have to go through all that again. Okay, let's go back to the... no. Okay. I just leave the armband. It's the armband, my lord. I actually never looked at it. It's a very fine embroidery here that shows the name of the armband's owner. In this case, Kazuma Asogi. So I'm always carrying my best friend's hopes and dreams with me on my right arm, just here, all the time. To be honest, it's something that weighs very heavily on me. Oh, I didn't realize it was such a burden, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, I think that's why my right shoulder aches so much. Are you sure that's not to do with your reading in bed or the like? Okay, that was actually really good. I wish. Why didn't I read that sooner? Okay, so let's see. Something that he had to keep his silence on. He had to be silent on. And that's Gregson. Oh, shoot. Let's see. I think that's not that. Let's see here. Is there anything on Karuma? No, that's the headband, so it's not it. No. Nothing. Yeah, nothing. There's nothing on Karuma. Okay. Anyway, let's keep going. What's all the evidence we have of the professor killings? It's not that. What could it possibly explain Asogi's silence in court? It would have to possibly be oh man, this is tough. God, this is tough because I don't know. Is it the only things that are relevant to the case is this thing, that thing, this. Oh god, what is the evidence to suggest that? Let's do Karuma. Let's do Karuma. I don't know.
Take that!
Yep, that's not it. Nope. Actually, let's quickly go.
As I indicated before, my patience for the rhetoric is growing thin.
You could have at least accompanied that penalty with an explanation why that answer was wrong. If Kazuma-sama's father knew that the evidence being convict him was fabricated, why would he have said nothing in his trial? If it were me, I'd have to protest my innocence until I was blue in the face. So, if we're right about the autopsy results, there must have been a strong reason for his silence. Well then, perhaps he was saying nothing in exchange for some sort of clemency. Ah, that could be it. Some kind of clemency. Let's see, what else could it have been? There has to be something. Is it this? Let's try it.
Take that!
Oh, that was it. Huh. Interesting. It's true that Genshin Isogi's silence during his trial resulted in his conviction. But that didn't actually lead to his execution. On the contrary, it led to his escape. An escape that was only possible because he'd been sentenced to death. Although I find it hard to believe my father would have negotiated in that way, the defense is correct. A fake execution, falsification of a death certificate, and a jailbreak inside a coffin. Clearly, such an elaborate plan couldn't have been carried out by my father alone. He must have had the help of a collaborator from the judiciary. I have here the dismissal notice of the chief warder who was working in the prison at the time. The notes read, there are indications that the jailbreak was in planning prior to the inmate's incarceration. In other words, there were suggestions of some sort of a negotiation between Mr. Isogi and the British government.
Counsel, you're testing my patience.
In exchange for his silence in court, he was given an assurance that he would be broken out of prison. Yes, with that sort of clandestine agreement in place, I can imagine he would have kept quiet. Okay, see how this is going. I would go further than that, in fact. I would say that the elaborate jailbreak of Mr. Isogi can be explained in no other way. Oh my god, Strongheart is just like, oh, here we go.
Order! First fabricated evidence, and now a jailbreak conspiracy.
Of course, because it's all intimately linked. You should know that, Susheart. Exactly, Susheart. Imagine we all start calling him Susheart, and all the judiciary goes, Susheart. The prosecution wishes to summon new witnesses to the stand.
Witnesses?
Oh, is it Governor Caden? People who could testify about the jailbreak that took place 10 years ago. Governor Caden? And the poor chief warder of the prison? Oh no! We're gonna force him to testify again! Oh no!
I won't allow this trial to turn into a farce, to summon the governor of the prison after all these years.
Oh, it wouldn't be any trouble, my lord.
What?
Father? My dear friend may appear a little rattle padded at times, but I can assure you he's extremely Did Sholmes think of this part too? My God! He wired both Barclay and the. He did think of this! Oh my God, Sholmes! What the hell? Why didn't you tell us this earlier? My God, you could have helped. Been a big help. Oh God, asking Governor Caden and Mr. Vigil to attend the Old Bailey as a matter of extreme urgency. Look at Susata's face. Look at her face. She's like, that's right. I knew he would do it. Mr. Sholmes did that? Oh no. Okay, it's the last time I'm gonna swear. She's like, that's right, bitch. I knew he'd do it.
Oh, are you telling me that?
Both men are, unless I'm much mistaken, waiting just outside the courtroom at this very moment. Everyone's like, ooh, this is developing fast. My lord, you must permit this trial to proceed as you declared at its outset. My God. Strongheart's like,
Oh my fucking God, why did I say I'd do that from the beginning?
you promised that we would stop at nothing to uncover the whole truth behind these disturbing findings. He's like,
Yes, I did say that. Very well. Bring in the witnesses. Send in the clowns. Make no mistake, I too would like nothing more than to lay this business to rest once and for all.
ooh. Oh my God, I feel so sorry for the poor man. Okay, so we'll come back to this, but right now I have to start finishing up because I have something to do. It's a big family event today, so we're gonna just end the stream here for now. Save again. But yeah, oh my lord, this is turning out to be a crazy trial because when has it ever been this crazy when we had a trial like this? I honestly don't even know how I feel about it because the fact that like we have proof that Asogi possibly isn't the killer, and that we found that Strongheart is actually the Reaper of the Bailey. Oh, I'm so excited! This is so good. I'm so excited for everything else. So I definitely want to find out more about this. But I was like, just oh my God, the fact that I knew that Strongheart was sus behind something. I think I even claimed he was. I think he was the killer, or like the conspirator. I think I even said that. I don't remember, or I alluded to that. Either way, I knew he was up to something, and it was that. You see me, guys? I'm big brain, and also I just pay attention to the dialogue, and it's very obvious. But I'm big brain. So yeah, so I am very excited to see where this goes because we need to figure out who's behind everything. So we'll continue this next week, either Tuesday or Thursday, depending on my schedule and time. Always check my schedule tab because that's where you always see it. And obviously on my social media is when I announce. So we'll see where we are on Tuesday, Thursday. What else? Anything else? Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, that's all for today, guys. I know it's very short and very quick, but that's because I want to do something really quick for today, and I replaced Persona because I want to continue this trial. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you, Mustang, for coming in. It's always great having you in here. Follow me on my social media, guys. Follow me on my Instagram. Follow me on Twitter. I will start posting more on my Twitter. I keep saying that, but I am starting to do it, as you saw with my tweet the other day. Instagram is where I'm most active. And so you'll see me on there, and I always announce when I'm gonna go live. Usually it's like at least 15 minutes before, but there are times though where I'm in such a rush that I always forget to announce. So I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm going live. So follow me on there. If you want to watch any of my past VODs, you can always find them on my in my About tab. There's a link that leads to my VOD channel, my YouTube channel. It's Pau de Sala VODs. You'll see it there. And yeah, thank you guys for coming in today. It was great having you in. I'll see you next time. Bye.